Yes, family. We're going to go live. But yeah, boy, we're gonna start this build, you know, so a lot of information it's gonna be spoken today, you know. I'll give it the weight, give it the heads up. Let's see where the breakdown of the information we're gonna break down today. Introduce a new sister that hopefully will be part of the Eazi Herbs, you know, content and etc. So yeah, definitely. Let me see if I can add my sister. And we're about to get started, so you know I ain't gonna expose what we're talking about yet, but let me try get my sister on there ASAP, and then we can start from there, family. So this convo should be powerful build, you know. So Eazi kind of rush this still, but you know how we do it, freestyle it. So
can you
yeah,
see me?
Yeah. How you doing, sis? Nah. Can't see you, sis. No.
That's mad. Hold on. Oh, I know why.
Well, you're not.
Because I didn't turn the camera around. Just a sec.
That's cool, sis.
1 second.
No
now
problem.
You can see me. What you saying, bro?
Clear.
You good?
Clear.
How you doing?
I'm alright. Just been a little bit busy.
Good.
Rushing back from work and trying to just do this powerful build because I know it's gonna be good. I don't know if I kind of rushed it or not, but I reckon we can.
It's all good.
Yeah, you know, I definitely, because I usually have my iPad, yeah, and I usually talk with some diagrams, but the battery died. So it's just gonna be a lot of information on the top of our heads, and then we're gonna, well, firstly, before I start anything, I'm gonna have to introduce the new sister to my platform, you know, and I want you to introduce yourself and your passion and what you do as a career, or if you got any type of educational background behind you. That's just, you know what I mean, that's to just give a little field of who you are and what you're about and etc.
Okay. Thank you, bro. I'm Sharan, and I'm 37, from Derby. I have a first-class degree in counselling and psychotherapy, so that's what I do for a living. I have a neuroscience background, so that really involves, well, in my line of work, that really involves regulating the nervous system via many ways. That's neuroplasticity exercises, vagus nerve stimulation, somatic therapy, all about going back into the body and either up-regulating or down-regulating, which I'll go into later. So that is my job. So I work in mental health field, obviously. I'm a private therapist, and I also work at a sexual abuse and rape advice centre as well. So I give those clients psychotherapy too, which is really important because I feel like the NHS and charitable organisations don't really have many therapists that work with the nervous system and regulating, you know, in terms of regulating the nervous system. So that's my little bit of
that's powerful.
My passions are my children. My passions are my children, helping people, giving back to the community, working out, keeping healthy. Like, this body is a gift, and it's about really looking after this body and taking care of it, not abusing it through food. And the thing is, in this day and age, there are so many stresses, constant triggers. So it's about having self-compassion and self-love, and that's what I really want to push to people. And it's not about taking people's money. If therapy and regulating the nervous system is not accessible to poor people, to people that are from underprivileged areas, then you ain't really helping anybody. You're just trying to put money in your pocket. So I try and put this out there because a lot of people actually profit off of this as well. I want to be able to give free therapy across the world one day with a team of people. Raspect's very much involved in that as well, and it's very in its early days, but we are trying to get something going there, which you could be a part of as well. That
is powerful. So with the fact that you do with your health and your body, the temple, what are you are you a vegan or you cater?
Yeah.
You're vegan?
Oh, no, sorry, you said vegan. No, I'm not a vegan, I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I I don't think I would want to be a vegan.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Is it any reasons why?
Yeah.
Any reason why you wouldn't? You're nearly there.
I know that you can get vegan cheese, and I know you can get vegan chocolate, right?
Yeah.
But very much to do with mammon and satisfying.
Okay. Okay.
But no, I'm only joking. To be honest, I don't feel like it's the healthiest thing for me, for my body. I think your body speaks to you, and you should listen to your body. And I've tried it, and it just doesn't work for me.
Doesn't work. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Definitely.
Right now, anyway,
yeah.
I'm not the dog. I'm not amazing. Like, it just might mean that in other areas I'm lacking.
Yeah.
So I'm not able to keep that up. But
yeah,
you know, every day's a journey, learning curve. So maybe in the future, who knows? But for me right now, nah. What about you, bro? Are you?
Yeah, I've been I've been plant-based, I would say. I do slip up here and there with like some cheese here and there, you know, but I've been plant-based for about 7 years now. So
it's really good.
Yeah,
well done.
I do with more of the science base behind it, and you know, but yeah, like you said, when it comes to the dietary, you have to also analyze your own genetics makeup as well, because certain genetics will cater more to certain dietary. I forgot what it was called
100%.
though. Yeah, so it's definitely, that's what I always say to people: if you're gonna transition to any type of veganism, you want to get your blood check. You want to go through a lot of analysis, you know, like mineral analysis and etc. Even allergics as well, because you might be allergic to peanuts and certain things that might not show.
100%.
So I do try to tell people that before you decide to jump in any type of system, or especially when it comes to dietary, make sure you go through your blood checks and your, you know, and your allergies. So the topic today, that, because you know it's gonna be many. I think it's gonna be a beautiful thing, because the fact that your knowledge in neuroscience and health, this is basically what I deal with, you know. So we're gonna have a lot of conversations, and then even up to through aspects of religion as well, we can go into as well a little bit. So there's gonna be loads of conversations, but I think today we're gonna be looking into, because like you mentioned before, and how you do as a work or professional, you deal with people with mental health, you know, and we know that within our community, we do suffer in silence with that, you know, and we do want to try to identify and make people aware of it, you know, you know, so we can, and then at least hopefully you can help, well, you can tell us how we can help treat people that we, you know, that's going through it, that we don't know that's actually going through it. So yeah. But before all of that, I wanna go. Oh Lord have mercy! How the hell automatically, because you are overheat? Jesus Christ, brother, that's mad, and it locked off as well. Can't believe that, mother. That's crazy. You can never guess.
What happened?
My phone, because I'm in my car right now, because I don't like doing combos in the house, especially where I live with all the noise and all that. The phone was overheating, and it just locked off.
No, I was going to do it in the car first, but you know what, I'm glad I didn't, because it's really hot today.
Oh, I was thinking, what's going on?
Where were you?
Okay, we was at the point.
Where were we when it got stopped?
Yeah, we got to the point where, we're basically gonna break down what we're talking about.
Okay, about the young people as well, and how mental health.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But like I was saying, and like I do always, is especially when it comes to me and on my channel, I like to break the science before we go into the, you know, because just to just make it like how, just have a people have a little bit of an understanding of how things work. A lot of people don't really understand, and I do want to break it down as less complex as possible, but I have to start from the beginning and then we move our way forward. So
absolutely.
So I want to bring it back to how babies are, or I will say embroidered, yeah, coming from the belly of the mom's stomach, yeah. We know that the stages in our development where we start off, especially when it comes to the brain transitioning, we start off with the neural tube, yeah, and the neural tube develops into three components, which is the prosencephalon, you got the mesencephalon, and you got the rumpencephalon, yeah. It's also known as the forebrain, the forebrain, the midbrain, and the hindbrain, if I'm not corrected, yeah. And also what happens is your gut system starts developing, yeah, which is called the primitive gut, yeah. So these are two tubes that develop in a embroid, yeah, that develop at the same times. So now we've got two systems that starts growing within the womb or in the belly at the same time. We have the neural tube, the neural tube, and then you have the primitive gut, yeah. And these two systems, I will call them, end up in what we called our brain, spinal cord, to your peripheral system, and the other systems that come with it. And then, as we know, as the primitive gut, it develops into what we called our organs. All our organs come from this primitive gut. So this is how we're gonna talk about both of them. The reason why I brought it up, because it's very important, especially when it comes to dietary and how the brain functions, because they both grow together into what we're gonna speak into what we're gonna speak about, and they're both gonna work hand to hand. So I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna take it back to the neural tube a little bit more. The primitive one, I'm gonna probably break it down a little bit later on, but we're gonna deal with the brain and our functioning, especially when it comes to our sensory system. Yeah, so it starts off with the neural tube, develops into your prosencephalon, your mesencephalon, and the rumpencephalon. The prosencephalon splits off into two components, which is the telencephalon and the diencephalon. Yeah, and the mesencephalon stays the same, and then the rumpencephalon breaks into the mitencephalon and the myelencephalon. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to have my diagram to show. But when I do my video, I'm gonna put the diagrams up so we can have a clearer view of how it. So this is how the development of our brain functions within the embroid in our belly. And then these components, now we've got the 5 components: the diencephalon, telencephalon, or the telencephalon, diencephalon, the mesencephalon, the mitencephalon, and the myelencephalon develops into what we have now as the telencephalon turns into what we called our cerebral cortex. If I'm not corrected, it might be the diencephalon, but it's one of them two. The diencephalon turns into what you call your thalamus, all the thalamus part, your hypothalamus, your epithalamus. You got the limbic system that you were speaking about before earlier. We're going to talk about all of that. And then the mesencephalon, mitencephalon, and the myelencephalon turns into what you call the brain stem.
Smashed it.
So we're gonna break down how these functions now. So I'm bringing it back, and then so now we know how this develops within our wombs and what the process it comes off with. We know that the primitive guts turns into all your organs. So you find that your intestines come out of there, your kidneys, your liver, your heart, and etc. All your organs come out of what starts off as your primitive gut, which is basically your digestive system. And then I'm gonna show the diagram of that when we go when we put it on my channel, and then we're gonna break that system a little bit more depth because it's a little bit. So the brain system, we got up to the point now we've got superior cortex, we got the thalamus part, what I would call the diencephalon part, because there's many, just hypothalamus, hypothalamus, there's the limbic area, and I think there's more. And then we got the brainstem. The brainstem is the primary start for where the sensory nervous system breaks off. We're talking about the spinal cord. Now we're talking about that nerve that runs all the way from your back, directly to your brain. You got because obviously on the brainstem you have the pons, the medulla, and you got the midbrain, and you got the cerebellum. And then it runs down, which is called the central nervous system. And then what also splits off the central nervous system, we have the peripheral nervous system. So we're gonna start. So I'd give up so we're gonna break down the brainstem and how it functions, and how the central nervous system works, and how the peripheral nervous system works. So I want you to take over for a little bit, let's just break down a little bit more, and I'll just jump back. I'll just jump back in whenever it's ready, when it's time.
What happened to keeping it simple?
No, we're not. We're gonna blow minds, and then we're gonna break it down straight after. So that's perfect.
Everything you said is true in the sense of knowing something from the very, very the very deeper end of it. And as you move up to the surface, where you've kind of left off, is where I deal with you. You mentioned the hypothalamus. So that is what we make up the HPA axis with. Okay. So there's the hypothalamus, then we have the pituitary. So then you must know what the pituitary is, that's hormones, and then the adrenal axis. So that's what HPA stands for.
Okay.
So the hypothalamus is connected to your hormones, and it's connected to your lymphatic system. It very much is the control center, the smart center of how you deal with stress. Okay. Do you know what homeostasis is? Homeostasis is when you are regulated at a baseline level. It is safe and secure to socially engage, and you feel safe within the body, and you are in the part of your autonomic nervous system that is feeling safe and secure, and we call that the parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic,
because you got the what's
sympathetic.
The sympathetic, because that's off the peripheral system. Am I right?
Sorry?
That's off the peripheral system.
Yeah. So they're all connected. But the hypothalamus, which is what you mentioned, that's very, very important when it comes to mental health, because it is the control center. So, like you can get smart devices and control your heating off it, or like your security system. The hypothalamus is almost the same thing, your smart system. And it allows for everything to be balanced. And if anything is inhibited, like the vagus nerve and stuff, which we'll discuss later, it thinks of ways of like fixing everything. So homeostasis is when everything is great, everything is calm, everything is secure. So the hypothalamus is always reaching for that. If it doesn't, then it determines how you are now coping with stress, how you are reacting to stress. So going back to the HPA axis, that then takes us on to, I can say, the autonomic nervous system, which I know you know plenty about. So the autonomic nervous system is made of two things, right? So you've got your parasympathetic nervous system, and you've got your sympathetic nervous system. So it's good to remember that sympathetic means sensitive. So here we are feeling sensitive, and parasympathetic is when we're not really feeling sensitive, we're quite calm, we're quite regulated. So which one do you think we need to be in? I'm sure you know.
Yeah, we need to be in the parasympathetic.
That's it. So the parasympathetic nervous system is where we need to be. But because we live in the modern world, and we are constantly triggered or stressed, even like, oh, I've got to do a live, or oh, I've got to pick the kids up, or oh, I've got to make that actually is a stress response to your body. Your body doesn't know that it's 2022 and yes, it's evolved and whatnot, but there's something in the brain that we call the tricky brain. So the tricky brain is basically something where we try to balance. The brain is trying to balance evolving and, you know, going with modern times, but balancing this with the survival brain. So the survival brain was given to us, like our body has been made with the survival brain so that we can survive out in the jungle, because primitively we lived with lions and animals. So normally you'd get chased by a lion and you would run. Your fight, flight and freeze responses will switch on. So you can outrun the animal, fight the animal back, or freeze, meaning you know you're done for, mate. And when you're done for, your body so geniusly releases opioids because it knows you're about to get done. So it releases natural painkillers. So our body is very, very it's amazing the way it's
the parasympathetic system. Yeah, when you were talking about the fight or flight, we will find that in the limbic area. Yeah,
so it's the limbic part of your brain where the amygdala is. So you have the prefrontal cortex. That is what allows you to be rational and have a rational thinking brain. But that goes offline when the amygdala has been activated. And the amygdala is activated by stressors because it's trying to keep you safe. So it wants to keep you safe. So what that means is everything you've been through from birth to this present moment, if it's stressful, it gets stored in your tissue memory inside of your body, inside of your nervous system. So that if anything remotely even smells of that old danger or that old stressor, beep, 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 the amygdala, the smoke alarm system will switch on. But here's the problem, right? The smoke alarm system, the amygdala, the limbic brain, the emotional brain, where we're very reactive from fight, flight, or freeze responses come from there. Do you think that's on pretty much constantly in this modern age? Exactly. So this is it. So all the them and all the youth out here, they've got a lot of anger problems. They've got a lot of issues right now. So we were talking about the youth. We need to actually teach the youth how to come out of those survival responses, how to come out of those fight, flight, and freeze responses, and come back to the rational thinking brain. Because when you're in your rational thinking brain, you ain't gonna want to go murk somebody or jump someone unless you know, like, anyway, I don't want to talk about justified murder or whatever. But again, this is why we have a very reactive society. We have a very impulsive society, not because they're scumbags, not because they're egotistical, not because they've got anger problems. No, it's not just that. It's because their survival brain is constantly activated. So all that energy, so when your survival brain is switched on and you're triggered, even if it's about cooking food or being on a live or picking the kids up or getting bullied or ops or whatever it is, or getting to work on time and your boss is an idiot, whatever it is, you're releasing stress chemicals, noradrenaline, adrenaline, and cortisol. Now, you're filling up your body with all this energy, and if it's 2022 and you can't really do something about it, or it's minor and it really doesn't need a crazy response, where do you think that energy is going? It's staying stuck in your body. So when stress chemicals, mobilizing energy is stuck within the body, if you're not using it, next time you react to someone, it's going to be an overreaction. Next time you punch someone because they maybe deserve it, it's going to be a bad battering. It's going to be a bad beating. Next time your boss gets on your nerves, it's not going to be like, oh, just keep your mouth shut and don't react. It's going to actually be lashing out and losing your job. So actually, it's very important to know how to come out of the survival brain response, which is what I teach. Also, stress responses, if they stay switched on, they will cause a huge tension in your body. Because when, you know, your physiology reports to your brain what you're feeling. So if we're constantly triggered and we're constantly on our phone like this, our posture becomes like this. Our muscles and our biceps become really, really tight. And all of that primitively are signs telling the brain, she's stressed out. release stress chemicals. She's stressed out. She needs adrenaline because she's about to box someone, or someone's about to box her. And like, really, there's no one to box. It's just someone getting on my nerves. So rumination, overthinking, is now the lion that used to chase us in the jungle. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So at least in the jungle, when a lion chases you, you can run off. Or gets to cracking like in 10 minutes. But with rumination, the new lion in the modern world, we don't get a break from it. It's constant. So how are we getting a break from these stress chemicals that cause diseases, that cause posture problems? They cause digestive problems. Yeah. Because your digestive system is connected to your brain. So the HPA axis is also controlling how you digest food. So this is why for diet it's important you eat a lot of fiber, because fiber is digested slowly, and that allows your digestive system to have a break, and then your vagus nerve gets stimulated with slow digestion. And the vagus nerve runs from the brainstem right down to the colon. Its branches go through the ears, behind the eyes. They go through the heart and major organs, especially your digestive system. So a lot of people with IBS and things like that, it's not hereditary, it's not genetic, it's because you're dysregulated. Okay. So I have helped so many people with IBS who are like, no, it's just genetic. I'm like, it's not. And then when I've taught them how to regulate themselves, and they've done that 3 times a day, it's like 2 months later, like, oh, my IBS is gone, my gut's okay, my gut health is okay. And if you want to look at the science behind why your gut goes off key and gets inhibited, is because, you know, like when you're stressed or when your mind thinks, oh God, we're under attack, when it's releasing all that energy in your body, it's ready to fight. So all the energy goes in your biceps, so your muscles contract, and you're ready to fight. And all the energy that normally sits in your digestive system, it's gone. That's why people, that's why things like, you know, you're going to ish yourself or pee yourself. That's where they come from, because people do poo themselves or wee themselves when they're stressed, because all of that controlling your digestive system goes when you're triggered in fight, flight, or freeze. So that's where those sayings come from. So it's all about the vagus nerve. So that nerve that runs from here and through all of your organs, it must be worked out. You go gym, I bet you go gym,
Well,
You do some sort of exercise. You must, because you can't be talking like this and not exercise.
Now the thing is, I go work. I'm a plumber, I'm a pipe fitter, construction, you know, so I'm lifting up.
That is workout.
You know,
that's workout.
I'm definitely burning a lot of glucose.
It's essential for your body to move. So like, look, people go, like, sometimes aesthetically they want to look big, they want big biceps. So you gotta lift weights, People either do it to look good, or because when they want to pick something heavy up, they're not feeling like a weakling, they can do it easily, right?
And
stress, that vagus nerve, if it's not worked out, it's not going to pick up stress like strong biceps. That's the most important nerve and muscle in the body. If that's not worked out, listen, your health, very soon you can kiss it goodbye eventually, because it will wear away. Why is nobody talking about the vagus nerve? Why is nobody showing you how to work this nerve out? This is what our children need. This is what our society needs. And, you know, I'm going to make videos. Believe it or not, I'm a bit camera shy, but I am going to put up the techniques. I'm going to put them on my page, and then you can share them. Like, I know you do classes. I know Raspect, all of you like do so much good work. And I want you to go out there and I want you to teach the kids this stuff. Because why should they pay £100 in London for neuroplasticity exercises? I don't think so. You can have it for free.
No, definitely. We're gonna talk about
how to do it all. I'll teach you. We'll learn all of it.
100. I wanna stick onto that vagus nervous system, because like you said, it's a gateway from your brain all the way down to each organs as well. Is that part of the parasympathetic system as well, or is it a different system?
No.
It's not.
So the vagus nerve. So you have it when you are in your vagus. It's called vagal brake. So that vagus nerve here. Do you know where it is? Do you know how to touch it? So do that. Put your thumbs up. So put your hands like this. So it goes to your neck. Now wherever your thumbs rest, side of it, that's your vagus nerve. So you go to the top. Down.
Okay.
So some people forget, they think the vagus nerve's here, but it's actually wherever your thumbs sit on your neck when you cross over. So once you know, then you can do that. And like if you're having a panic attack, or you're vexed, or you've been triggered, just doing that and just breathing and relaxing will lower your heart rate. It will allow so the vagus nerve speaks to your autonomic nervous system.
Okay.
Once it's back in play and you've stimulated it, it says to your sympathetic nervous system, yo, we don't need you now. You don't need to be mobilized. You don't need to be activated. There's no one to fight or whatever. We can go back into sympathetic nervous system.
Who's doing those who's doing those conversations and those things that's happening, do you reckon? Who's sending those like hormones or the neurotransmitters that you're speaking about? The only reason why I'm asking these questions because I know exactly what you're saying, and I'm going to where it's coming from, and I just want you to touch on it before I touch on it. But there's neurotransmitters traveling up this vagus nervous system.
I was going to say it's neurons. So you have neurons. So this is when neuroplasticity comes in.
Okay.
So you have grooves on the brain.
Yeah.
Right? So you have grooves on the brain, and all our behavior will create grooves on the brain, especially repetitive behavior. So these are based on neurons.
Okay.
So neuroplasticity is based on neural pathways. So if you're constantly stressed, and you stay in the sympathetic nervous system, your neural pathways get deeper, stronger, and they even affect your generations to come via epigenetics and gene expression.
Okay.
Yeah. So which is an amazing topic in itself that I'm studying at the moment.
Yeah.
So that affects your blueprint. You're creating a blueprint for your children, and our ancestors. The way they dealt with stress, we deal with stress the same way because they created a blueprint for us.
In your DNA.
Because those grooves on the brain, they don't go easily, but I teach you how to rewire them. So if you are a dysfunctional person and it's no fault of your own and it's to do with dysfunctional living, your inner child is, it needs reparenting or whatever it is, abandonment issues, underprivilege, economical issues, single parent life, loss, abuse, grief. We're able to change those pathways on the brain, those grooves that we've just talked about. You're able to change them by creating new neural pathways. And to do that, you must regulate the nervous system.
Definitely.
Definitely. Pass it on to you, bro.
Yeah.
I speak to you.
All right. So let me just break down on my knowledge on what she was saying. So she was saying about the vagus nervous system and how it sends these messages. Yeah. So I'm gonna break down, and then she mentioned fiber as well, which was very interesting. And she's talking about the gateway or the gateway of the microbiome. The microbiome is the gateway of the vagus nervous system that sends all those hormones or neurotransmitters. 80% or 90% of serotonin gets developed in your gut. 50% of dopamine. 50% of dopamine gets developed in your gut, and it gets sent via vagus nervous system, signal straight into your what you call your cerebral cortex, or even up to your brain stem. And they come from the microbiome. There's microorganisms that live within your colon. There's trillions. They outnumber your cells, yeah, and they can influence you in many ways. So this is the gateways of the vagus nervous system that she was talking about. That's just giving the enlightenment.
Vagus nerve. Yeah. Sorry, the system that the vagus nerve is activated through is the autonomic nervous system.
Autonomic,
so the vagus nerve is just a nerve, the vagus nerve, but the system that allows it to come into play is the autonomic nervous system.
Okay. So these are the systems that we don't have no control over. These are the systems that is run. This is like a part.
No.
Yeah.
You have huge control over the autonomic nervous system.
Yeah.
But we don't realize that because we're just living. We're just getting triggered. But of course you have control over it. That's what neuroplasticity is, and that's what I teach. I teach you how to have control over your autonomic nervous system by creating new neural pathways through brain rewiring and through neuroplasticity. Creating new neurons to change the way that we react to stress. And when you change the way you react to stress, you then have control over your autonomic nervous system, in the sense that instead of staying in fight, flight, and freeze forever like we do sometimes, and stay there for a long duration, if we make this muscle very strong, it will come out quicker.
Yeah.
It'll come out quicker.
But so I agree. I definitely agree. I understand what you're saying. With the autonomic system, there's many this is a system that runs and it connects to different parts of the organs.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, it's automatic. So the autonomic nervous is automatic and on how it responds to stress, but you can change the duration of time that it stays.
Oh, fair enough. System. Yeah, because you know what I was saying.
So that is control.
Okay.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think you know what it is with certain systems of the body. Like I had conversations with my brother Maxfit, the brother that you like his post, the cartoon breakdown. So he's my brother that we speak to. Go back and forth in convos about a lot of stuff, but he speaks about having control, like through meditation, etc. But there's some systems in our body we can do, like we can manipulate our mind, or we can go through different phases of like exercise, form of exercise to try to train our body to work a certain way. Exactly. But then there's some systems that works without your consent regardless, like how your heart is pumping, you know, like, and these all part of the autonomic system. So this is where I was getting at, where we have no control of, because if we had control of over these systems, then we will probably die, because we will have conscience of what's going on. We can't, like, our bodies, there's so much functions in our body, we cannot know everything, and we can't be yeah. This is where I was going, because we do, because me and him go back and forth. And another subject that there's another subject that we might invite you on as well, and this is about consciousness. Yeah, I know a lot of people might not agree. A lot of people might not agree with my stance, but my stance is solid, you know. And I understand a lot of people's perspective. I hear their perspective, and they do have logic and evidence to back up what they're talking, the same way that I do. It just because it's right now, it's not a concrete fact. It's still in the realm of, you know what I mean. Unless you have something different, yeah.
No. Consciousness has been spoken for decades upon decades, and I hear what you're saying scientifically, but we are electromagnetic beings, and it's been shown that we emanate energetic field, you know,
that's a fact
that goes far beyond
that's a fact, yeah. I agree with that. That's a fact.
So
the
consciousness, even when the brain is dead, like the science has shown, there is light. I don't know, in fact I saw it yesterday.
I agree.
The sperm fertilizes the egg, they've scanned it, so they've scanned it in animals anyway, but they've done these other like imaging kind of thing, and light forms as soon as a sperm fertilizes an egg. Light forms. So before anything has formed, light formed first. So that light is how I would kind of describe consciousness, the life force. Like for me, consciousness is that, but in psychology, consciousness is referred to as something else. Consciousness is the opposite of unconscious, being unconscious, which is connected to the part of the mind that you can't access. So Jung and Freud talked about the unconscious. So a lot of us act from the unconscious, like 80% of our behaviors stem from the unconscious mind. And in the unconscious mind, you could call it the shadow self, the hidden self, but you can't access it unless you have some sort of aid to do that, like journaling, free association, writing, creativity, meditation, therapy. There's loads of different things, but I don't know what you mean in terms of consciousness. That word, so the word consciousness can mean many things, because religiously, consciousness is about being awake from your ego as well. Like in spiritual terms, consciousness means being awake and aware and not letting the egoic mind distract you. So consciousness for me is life force. It's who you really are. It's your real source, your energy. It's who you are.
Yeah, okay, we leave that though. We leave that. I agree with most of your points. And yeah, we go back to our systems that we were talking about. So, okay, so we have the autonomic system, if I pronounce that correctly. Autonomic system.
Say that again.
Autonomic systems, yeah. And then you got the somatic system. So
the autonomic nervous system, you can call it ANS or ANS. The autonomic nervous system has the sympathetic. Sympathetic and parasympathetic. No, but remember, that system has a conscience one, which is called SOMATIC. Somatic.
Somatic, yeah, that's what
Soma means body, so soma means body. So somatic therapy, which is what I do, is about coming back in the body, finding out where your window of tolerance. I don't know, have you heard of the window of tolerance?
No.
So the window of tolerance is like this, yeah? So that's where inside this window, look, there's my eyes, yeah? Everything in this window is cool. Like, it means you're regulated, you're good. But if you get activated, oh no, I'm stressed. You either go in the parasympathetic nervous system, or the sympathetic, you go in hypo-arousal, which is shut down, freeze, and you go in hyper-arousal, which is fight or flight. So we need to keep coming back to the window of tolerance. If you're not in it, you are dysregulated. So the autonomic nervous system is made up of those things. When you're inside of it, you are in the parasympathetic nervous system. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And somatic just means you can use certain techniques.
That's more.
Into the window of tolerance.
That's more. That's the somatic is more of like conscious movements, like for example skeletal muscles.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's you being able to have control of. No, you are in control. It's all your systems that you're like it's more of your controlling system more than your,
it's mind body connection. Mind body connection.
So
does that make sense?
Yeah.
So scanning, I'm going to do this on you one day, bro. I'll teach you like scanning and focusing, and that is a somatic technique. Which allows you to connect with your inner consciousness, which is what I do. Is about coming back in the body, finding out where your window of tolerance. I don't know, have you heard of the window of tolerance?
No.
So the window of tolerance is like this, yeah? So that's where inside this window, look, there's my eyes, yeah? Everything in this window is cool. Like, it means you're regulated, you're good. But if you get activated, oh no, I'm stressed. You either go in the parasympathetic nervous system or the sympathetic, you go in hypo-arousal, which is shut down, freeze, and you go in hyper-arousal, which is fight or flight. So we need to keep coming back to the window of tolerance. If you're not in it, you are dysregulated. So the autonomic nervous system is made up of those things. When you're inside of it, you are in the parasympathetic nervous system. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And somatic just means you can use certain techniques to bring you back into the window of tolerance.
The somatic is more of like conscious movements, like for example skeletal muscles.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's you being able to have control of. No, you are in control. It's all your systems that you're like, but it's more of your controlling system more than your,
it's mind body connection. Mind body connection.
Does
that make sense?
Yeah.
So scanning, I'm going to do this on you one day, bro. I'll teach you like scanning and focusing, and that is a somatic technique which allows you to connect with your inner consciousness, with your inner body, which we don't really feel anymore because we're so much in our head.
That's a bad. Carry on. This ready to go. My all batteries are dying out. I think it's kind of too hot as well. This one, out.
Don't worry, that's fine. It's been a really scientific conversation and psychological and physiological.
That's the thing. I haven't even started.
No, I love it. This is right up my street. This is me.
What's your time? What's your time like? Is it catching on?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm still good.
You're still good.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, you're good. You're good to go. Yeah. Just that I'm trying to get this mic.
To me, I like to be solution focused as well. Yeah, bruv. It's like I want to do things where we get solutions too. It's nice talking about the theory, but how are we going to put it into practice as well? And
it's definitely going to be time for that. I think you know what it is. Yeah, I'm just because we don't want to give out everything at one time. We just want to just take time because
of course. We got
lifetime to get it. We got lifetime to get it.
100.
And the fight is continuous. So I definitely don't want to just rush into everything. But
I know,
we're definitely gonna combo about a lot of stuff. But but how's your knowledge of how the neuron works? Could you break down, or I can show you a little bit of how the neuron
Yeah, you speak. I've spoke so much. I feel bad.
I like to make the thing. So with the neuron, you have the, like you said, the soma. Yeah, the soma is the body. That's right. That's another soma also used for the body of the neuron. Yeah. So the body with the DNA and everything harbors the mitochondria and etc. It harbors in the soma of the neuron. The neuron's got dendrites and synapses. Yeah. That's that picks up the neurotransmitters that you were talking about, especially when it comes to the vagus nervous system, sending those neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, stress hormones and etc. You get picked up by receptors, receptors or synapses and dendrites, and these are all, like you were speaking about before, about atoms, particles. Now we're talking about ions now. I want to break it down a little bit more deep, because now this is how ions get picked up via these receptors and how it can cause what you know now as actual potential. Actual potential within a neuron is what sends the message from one neuron to another. So how you were talking about earlier about stimuli. Stimuli, for example, a touch in the skin, it creates what you call the actual potential, stimulates the ions, which is the sodium and potassium pumps within the axon, and then it generates what you call actual potential that sends the message all the way up your peripheral system into your central nervous system and into your brainstem. So that's how it works. And you know, neurons, it's all around your body, peripheral systems everywhere of your body, from your, you know, and even up to the microbiome. The microbiome is on our skins and everything, and it can also send those signals and even manipulate our thoughts. So
absolutely.
So I'm jumping about somewhere, but I just wanna just break down the science for people that's listening anyway. And this is how the messages get sent via your body into what you call your brainstem. Your brainstem is the first part that any stimuli or any feeling, touch, frequency would enter, and then it would get translated in what you call your midbrain, and then it get passed on to what you call your superior cortex. The superior cortex, you got the frontal lobe, you got your temporal lobe, you got the occipital lobe, and you got the parental, the parental lobe. And these are like the lobes that are governed. For example, your occipital lobe through your eyes, the messages from your eyes translate the electromagnetic lights that enters into your retina and send it to your retina hypothalamus part of your brain first before it sends it into your thingy. So, and then you got your gustatory system, you got the olfactory system, and etc. So these are all the system that governs your body and sends those. So when you were breaking down the lymphatic system, a lot of people knows it in other terms. It's what you call the reptilian brain. The limbic area. We talk about the fight or flight. A lot of people might know it as the reptilian brain.
Yeah, of course,
The reptilian brain.
Survival brain, reptilian brain, that's correct.
And then you got the mammary brain as well, that deals with the caring.
That's your hippocampus.
Okay, the hippocampus. Okay. Yeah, the hippocampus. Okay. So it ain't a separate, because you know what, I thought the hippocampus. No, but I thought the hippocampus is for short-term memory.
It is. Is that not what you said?
No, I said the mammary brain. Mammary brain. You got the reptilian brain.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Because the mammary brain deals with the caring and the nurturing side of you.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Yes, okay.
So you got the limbic.
Come on, bros, we need to start a course. Huh? We need to start a course. We need to teach.
Oh my God. I'm just gonna get this battery out of my GoPro. But yeah, so you got part of what's your understanding about evolution? Let me just give you one of that. Evolution. Darwin theory.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm confident enough to even have an opinion, to be fair, because I'm not gonna lie. I get it, I understand it, but as soon as it turns like animal to like man, I don't know. I don't really want to speak on it. I don't know how I feel. I just get a bit funny at that point. I get evolution, and I get we evolve, and I get consciousness also is like, how can I put this? So a flower has consciousness. Even I would, because it's life, right? I'm actually, I won't say this. Maybe I'll say it privately. I feel like consciousness is what's evolving, and as it evolves and your consciousness is getting bigger and you are becoming more still, this is more of a spiritual talk, to be fair.
Okay.
Darwin's evolution to me means something else. It's more of the mind, of consciousness and stillness. But when it comes to Darwin and all of that, and evolving from mammal to this to that, I don't really have an opinion. I don't know. I'm not passionate enough to speak on it.
Let me just.
I just don't feel. I don't really resonate with it. I definitely
feel that there's holes in there. Like the science, it's not a proven fact. It's still a theory, yeah. So we know that there's holes in there, but I wouldn't say I'm a Darwin theory. I wouldn't say 100% because I'm not 100% of everything. But just understanding, for example, like even up to what about how existence of life coming onto the earth? How do you like? Because my study shows me back to what we call now a prokaryotic or eukaryotic. We're talking about bacteria and and cells with that quick and then formed into, because we still live with these microorganisms still up to now in our colon. No,
I heard that.
Yeah, so and like the development of our cells, because we can see our cells and we can trace our lineage back, and even up to DNA, because DNA is also found in meteorites, yeah, from the universe. So and we know that, like for example, water. There's a few theories on how water comes to this earth. It's all extraterrestrial stuff, like stardust and minerals and certain stuff comes from the stars.
I get that.
So,
Stardust.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, I would say, anyway.
Very. I do think, though, yeah, the more you try and understand creation, the more you try and go back, the more that you try to sum it up, the more it becomes. It's ever expansive. The universe is ever expansive. But the nice thing to know is that we stem from that. So that's our source. That's us. And we are separated from each other. Essentially, you're me, I'm you. We come from the same stardust, but what separates us is our egoic mind, our phantom self. But when you want to come to creation and look at creation, I do believe there was one thing that created everything. That and I don't mean all at once.
Okay.
But this comes from the one. It comes from one, right? So everything comes from somewhere. Not like this place and that place and this place and that. Something, whatever you want to call it, whether it's there's a word for it, self-sustaining energy, whatever you think it is, whatever you think that's created this a consciousness that had become conscious of itself has expanded this universe.
Yeah, fair enough. I do agree with that point where it is one. I think everything in the universe is the one. It's the one. Everything. But I think that's the only singularity in it, though. That's the only singularity in it, is that everything is part of the one. Everything is one.
100%. Yes, I agree.
I do believe from the universe, everything being that one that we live in, there is negative and positive, and if it's duality in everything.
Polarities.
Yeah.
Polarities.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're on about duality, polarities. As soon as the one created form, there was also a double-edged sword, and this is why I wear this. So what you're saying there, I wear this because it represents the creation of the universe. So there's one, and as soon as the world was formed, polarities existed. Good, bad, friend, foe, light, dark. This here, this separation from becoming one is the game of life, really. That's the whole fun of it. It's losing yourself in duality, in polarities, in order to come away from your own source. It's like the formless is experiencing form, and the formless then eventually experiences going back into the formless. And for me, I mean, I don't know if that makes much sense to you, but what you've said there is duality, like a double-edged sword. It's polarities and everything. Like the one, once it's become form and manifested, you've got a double side of everything. And for me, it's coming out of that double-sidedness. It's about surpassing that and evolving that and becoming the one again.
Okay.
For me, anyway.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, man. I think So we kind of went everywhere, innit? In this dude.
Hey, listen, it's all good because we didn't really have a proper intro to chat anyway. So I think it's really good to kind of know what page we're on in terms of knowledge, spirituality, neurobiological stuff, neurophysiology. It's like, it's very, you know, it resonates a lot. What you say is extremely deep. Like, you've taught me a lot today as well. Do you know what I mean? So I feel really grateful. I feel blessed to be able to jump on with you and hear what you've got to say. And thank you for sharing your knowledge.
No, that's fine. No, well, this ain't the end, you know. This is like a start or introduction of what there's much more in store. There's many people that can, you know, and you know, and I do think the thing is that just listen to everyone with this intellectual conversation. Like, it does put me in like sometimes in a black sheep, like in a black sheep place, because like, especially when it comes to this consciousness. But I'm not going to go back on it. I'm just going to spin on it one time. That everyone's still got that concept. But to me, I don't know. Because now, let me just bring up the reason why I do think, well, no, I'm just going to bring back, let me just try and bring it back on my understanding of how the world works. I'm going to go into scientifically. I'm going to break it down. So, we're going to go back to the neurons and etc. So, with the neurons, we know what stimuli. And so now we're talking about senses now. Now we're talking about the sensory nervous system. Now, this is the system that governs touch, perception, see, vision, vision, hearing, balance, vision, hearing, smell, what did I say? Balance, smell, touch. It's six. It's six. So you got touch, vision, smell, balance.
You said them all before. I remember the attachment system, which is the nurturing system, the attachment system of the brain, where compassion and nurturing. Obviously, you said olfactory.
No, it's not even that. It's the wow, I lost my plot.
It's all good.
Because you know what? Because my stance on it is because these 6 systems, if I remember them all top of my head for some reason, I just went blank. But these systems help us govern how we learn things. Like, for example, how we brought it back to the neural tube and the primitive gut, with this neural tube going into the cerebral cortex that we have now, even up to leaving the womb, and the primitive gut have now turned into or developed into now organs. We leave the womb fresh. We don't have no microbiome now. We come out the womb fresh. We get introduced to microbiome, microorganisms through breastfeeding. Yeah, this is a dose. Now this is a dose of external surroundings and experiences that your mom is sharing with you, helping you breed, helping you build your immune system now, identifying foreign invaders. We're talking about viruses and bacteria, building up, and these are all external sources that has been governed into our child to create experiences. So now this is where the primitive, now this is where all your immune system is now developed or developing for the external surroundings or hazardous stuff that it's going to be introduced to. And also now your brain is developing. Now we know that neurons are firing off. Axons and neurons are developing, because now neurons are the only cells that are with you for life. And so this is where we go back into the mental health and damaged neurons and all that. But we're talking about the building of neurons and how, this X-rays where you can see how that, and then this is my point here, where everything from the neuron tube and it getting released out of the womb, it's all fresh, and now it's getting external forces pushed into it. So now, so now your primitive gut, your gut is now creating the immune system now to identify what's out there
and now your neurons are just getting information now. Now neurons are getting built into your brain. And now this is where the development of your consciousness is developing now. That's that's my stance. See? That's my stance. I don't want to, see? This is where I could probably, if you see where I'm coming and envisioning where I'm coming.
I see.
This is where my point is, and this is where I'm getting at. Because now, if all these external forces is creating your neurons and creating the development of your brain and your immune system and your digestive system, then even up to, remember now you're using your vision. The child is, remember when a child is born, the eyes is rolling in the back of the child's head, you know, and it's not actually visualizing anything into external. I might be wrong in that. I haven't gone into it a little bit deep to find out how vision starts actually, light starts actually traveling and getting interpreted into your brain. You see what I'm saying? I need to go a little bit deeper and find out actually when we start actually acknowledging what we see for child and for youth. But my point is that we go through this external stimulus and factors to create what we now know as consciousness. See what I'm getting now?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I do. And you've got a very good basis, and you broke that down so well. Like when you've built it up, and it makes total sense. Consciousness. That word, see, there's around linguistics, around what's that word called? The what is that word? Well, it's about language. What does consciousness mean? So you're actually breaking a process down. Forget the English language. Forget the word consciousness. Yeah. You're breaking a process down.
Yeah.
So imagine we couldn't speak English and we can't use the word consciousness. And instead you are bringing up a natural process, and then you are using the word consciousness to describe it.
Yeah.
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 So for other people, though, that word means something else, and they find it very hard to separate those sentiments to what you're saying. Okay. So I, as an intellectual person who's not going to be emotional about it, can understand that is where the body's becoming aware of itself. The consciousness is becoming. I understand that. However.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's a good. At least now people can look at certain conversations of what I had, and this is what I broke down, and this is what my stance is. So, I do believe that this, you know, like a higher force and etc. But I do want people to understand
a little bit more of the start and the ending. The start, the neurons. The neural tube start, the primitive gut start, and to the point of us being who we are now. And I think if we have clearer understanding of how it works and the processes, then we can have a little bit of a better understanding of how, and then we can question certain things.
I do think that actually everything you're saying is correct. However, I'm also not surprised. I'm not surprised at the genius creation. I'm not surprised at the genius makeup of our body. And we're all going through it. So it's not like only you had it or only he had it. We all had it. So there is a basis that it follows. There is a creation that created that, right? So yes, you can become self-conscious, and yes, you become aware of yourself. But how is that? How are not 8-9 billion people following the same process? It's obviously there's a process. It's a very natural process.
Okay.
But for me, if you want to take it spiritually, I agree that process there is you. You are the creator. You're creating yourself. You are the manifest. You manifest your own destiny. You are the architecture of your destiny. You're the architect of your destiny. Sorry. You reap what you sow. Even those things that you've just described there, they are small things that will later grow into bigger things like deeds, consequences, repercussions. Everything you do in your body is a universe. We are a replica of the universe anyway. Like we're like 75% water. You know, obviously our blood, everything, you can connect it all back to the physical universe. So we are mini creators. So I'm not surprised that we're able to do that to our body that goes through that. I ain't surprised. I think we are capable of so many things that we are not aware of. I think the body has many secrets that have actually been kind of what's the word? We have secrets of the body that have become unknown because our dense energy, our heavy energy has cut us off from ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that genius process that you just described to me, there's so much more to that.
Yeah, of course. There's
so much.
What about?
There's so much more to that. I have experienced some of it.
Okay.
You know, so there is so much more to us, but we are, because we misidentify with this voice in our head. Oh, when we lie down, oh yeah, I wish I didn't say that in the live. Oh, I did say that. Oh, I could go there next week. Oh, I hate him, he gets my nerves. Oh, last week, like that incessant voice is not who we are, because when we were born, as soon as we were born, we didn't even have a name. We didn't have labels. We didn't know about religion. What were we? We were consciousness at that point. We were just being. We were just still. You get me? So all of this is what I go on about ego and the mind. Yeah, you have to develop and function in the world, but instead, I mean, I don't know. You know, how old are you?
35.
Okay, I'm going to be 38. So listen, you know, it's safe to say we've had plenty of experiences. So, for instance, sometimes people are like, they've got it bad for a girl. Like, imagine they've got it so bad for a girl. They'll go to prison for her. They'll do mad shit for her, right? They'll go on mad ones. And they do. And then they do mad ones for her. And then it all breaks up. It goes wrong. And he's heartbroken and it's just messed. And he would just do all these mad ones for her. And he's really hell-bent and he's persistent that this is what I want. This is the girl for me. She's the one. 15 years later, he ain't even thinking of her like that. He's not on her like that. So what made him so sure at that moment of time that he could sacrifice everything for her, but 15 years later, he's got no feelings for her? That shows you that your mind is fickle. Your mind is fickle. If we act on emotions are fleeting. So this is why I always say you should act on logic and not emotions, because emotions could change. So this does come back down to what you said as well, because what I'm trying to get at again is even our mind and who we think we are separated from source energy. We're separated from a part of ourselves. That is the process you just discussed. We are geniuses. We are powerful. We are light. We are light, and it's in our body. We're just cut off from it because we're creating our own energies. Everything's energy. So you've got light and dark. So that light energy that you discussed, that's what hosts our body. But what we're doing with our body and what we're saying with our mind, how we use our mind, what we do with our body, how we speak, we create more energy with that, because you can measure thought, by the way. You can measure thought. It's a frequency, it's an energy.
Okay.
So every time you think of something, you are changing your inner frequency. So that light energy that when we were first formed, we come away from that and we change the frequency. We become low vibrational beings. So again, taking it back to what you described, that process, yes, that's who we are. We're that pure genius process. But as we get older and we become conditioned from the outside world, and modern society has it that it doesn't want us to know our true nature. It just wants us to be 9-to-5 slaves. That's what it wants. This system out here does not do us any favors, because all we're trying to do is pay bills, stay alive, survival. We are constantly in survival. So how are we ever supposed to even connect to that inner self? So you explaining these processes of consciousness is all very well, and it's great, and it shows that we have a genius makeup. We are creating our own self and becoming self-aware. But how are we maintaining that? We're not, because we're stuck in the rat race.
That's the thing, innit? That's why with Eazi Herb's channel and that, it's always great. It's always great and Danny to talk intellectual, but you know, because you got platforms that just talk intellectual and they just talk to your, you know, I'm brain dead, and there's not actually out there on the field and doing things. You see what I'm saying? So that's why my channel is a little bit different, because Eazi's always active and he's always trying to put this work.
I've seen you be active. I've seen you watch your lives. I've seen what you do with the kids, and it's really commendable. You know, you should feel very proud of yourself. Like, you're doing that for your community. It's very easy just to concentrate on your own kids, but you go out there and you change the lives of children that might not have a father figure or a mother figure or a role model. Yeah,
man, definitely. Yeah, my heart hurts when I start seeing and hearing these things, you know. You know, I have to do something. It's just you know, so I you know, just, you know, that's how it is, that's how it go. But yeah, man, I think this build is good, and I reckon we're gonna chop it up more whenever you're free, but we're gonna build up. We're gonna even hit the God and the religion concept as well. That's gonna be a powerful build. But we leave it as that for now. We leave it at for now, only because I just want you more. You know what I mean? We don't want to have a 4-hour film and then we had all the conversations in one. So we're definitely gonna build more. So enjoy the rest of your day. I think it was
and you.
Oh yeah, but remember, big up your platforms, whatever you want to promote, big it up. And you know, make sure that people can find you on Instagram and everything, you know.
Absolutely, I heard that. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, and you know, it's been really insightful. And stay blessed, bro.
No, you ain't gonna big up. You ain't gonna big up nothing. You wanna listen? You don't want me to? You ain't gonna post nothing? No.
I will. No.
Okay.
You know what? Are you gonna post these lives on your page? Or
Yeah. Whatever you want me to post, I'll put it in. I'll put it in my. This post. This live is going to be recorded, and it's going to be saved and put on my channel.
Under it. If you're going to post it, I'll comment it under it and say, I'm the girl that's speaking, blah 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 blah, and I'll tag my other page that's just like literally not even, it's just brand new. So I was going to create a whole new space for our tribe to kind of be directed to.
Yes, send me all that information, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete it off here, because I don't want people to watch. I want them to go on my channel to watch it. So I'm going to...
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna delete it. I'm gonna save it, delete it off here, and then you're gonna send me all your information that you want me to post, to put out, and then I'll put it on my page.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. So busy, we're working, but I'll get on it, and you know, we'll put this into practice eventually as 100. Well, and we'll make a difference out here. Trust.
Yeah. So take care, sis.
Thank you, bro.
It was a good convo.
Great. Have a wicked day.
Yeah, man.
Love, bro.
All right, bless.
Take care.
Bless.
Bye. Bye.
Bing bang.